In the Middle Ages, a woman's duty was to be a wife, a housekeeper, and a mother. Men were the superior gender, and they were entitled to beat their wife if she misbehaved. The women of the Middle Ages were dominated by the male members of their family. The women were expected to obey their father, but also their brothers and any other male members of their family. Any disobedient girls were beaten, and it was seen as a crime against religion. Even the church was anti-woman, and it saw women as agents of the devil, tempting men into sin. Yet the upper-class ideal of courtly love painted women as models of virtue. Women got married as young as 11 or 12. Few married for love, though it often developed later. A child's future husband or wife was chosen by the parents with the aim of increasing the family's property. The church did not accept divorce, though marriages were occasionally annulled. The wife could not own property, therefore it belonged to her husband. Nuns lived in convents, also known as nunneries. They housed communities of higher-class women who belonged to a religious order and took the same kind of vows as monks. A well-known nun was Marie de Bourbon, who was the sister of the Queen of France at the time. If a woman did not want to get married, entering a convent was the only alternative. Some nunneries were very poor, but nuns, like monks, often bent the strict rules of the order and lived a fairly comfortable life. Women often married older men, and the women tended to live longer, so they became widows. As widows, they were entitled to inherit their husbands' estates. Some remained as heads of the household after their husbands had died. A rich widow could usually find another husband if she wanted, or she could become a nun. Most married couples tried to produce lots of children, because only 1 in 4 survived early childhood. Childhood was short in the Middle Ages. From age 7, most children started work or began to train in craft. Boys usually left home, while girls stayed at home and learned domestic skills and crafts from their mothers. Women, even ones with servants, had a lot of work to do, running the household and supervising the children. Besides cooking and cleaning, a woman had to spin yarn from wool and weave it into cloth, which she made into clothes. The distaff, which was a stick that held yarn, became a symbol for the female gender. The best-known playwright was the German nun Hroswitha, who lived in the 10th century. By 1300, women could read and write, often in Latin and French. A famous writer was Christine de Pizan. After her husband's death, she made a living as a professional writer, something that was extremely rare in the days before printing existed in Europe. She wrote several books defending the rights of women. The appearance of a noble woman during the Middle Ages was important. A woman aged quickly during this era because she had so many children. The diet of noble women during the Middle Ages lacked vitamin C, which resulted in bad teeth and bleeding gums. To hold the appearance of youth, a noble woman of the Middle Ages occasionally even dyed her hair yellow, with a mixture of saffron, cumin seed, celandine, and oil. Face makeup was applied to obtain a pale look, which was very desirable. A pale face meant that you were rich and did not have to work. The education of noble women in the Middle Ages did not focus on academic studies. Young noble women as young as 7 would be sent away from their home to live with another noble family. There she would be taught a range of subjects and skills. Manners and etiquette were of prime importance, including how to find a noble husband. Time would be spent learning how to dance and ride. Archery was also taught to young noble women. Some housewife responsibilities, such as preserving fruits and household management, would be taught, to prepare them for their duties as a married woman. Young noble women would also be taught the principles of the medieval code of chivalry and courtly love, and would join the spectators at jousting tournaments.